So about 2 years ago, I installed a POWERSTOP brake kit on the back of this Jeep. And it seems like ever since then, I've had issues with the brakes dragging and generating insane heat. About 2 days after I installed the kit, my brake light warning came on in the dash. So I came back in the garage and I re-bled the system again. I got rid of the light and it seemed okay for about 2 months. And then I took a trip up into the mountains, and on my way back down, there was a lot of braking. And when I got to the bottom of the mountain, these things were hotter than hell. The rim was basically too hot to touch with my hand. And brake dust everywhere. The calipers were stuck on the rotors. They were grabbing. The other side was grabbing too, but it was mainly on this side. So I assumed that it was, this line here was just swollen and it wasn't letting the caliper release. So I got the lines on, put everything back together. And I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months down the line, I took another trip up into the mountains. I came down out of the mountain to the base of the mountain. Everything was fine. It's not smoking or anything. It's warm to the touch. It's pretty hot, but I did just come down out of the mountains. Fronts are actually cooler. I get on the highway and I come home, I pull into the garage and I think to myself, what the hell, I'll check it again. So naturally I pulled it apart and the pads on this side did not look their age. They were rough and kind of crumbly, and there was actually pad material baked onto the rotor. That little notch there, and there's some grooves. I can't tell if they're grooves or if they're pad material built up, but this area here is definitely much rougher than the rest of the surface. I didn't have the time or the money to deal with it, and so I scraped the material off of the rotor and just put everything back together, and I managed to make it through for another probably year or so. And this past weekend, I took another trip up into the mountains, and I checked when I got to the bottom of the mountain with my hand to see if the wheels were hot, and they were warm, but you know, nothing out of the ordinary. The rears a little bit hotter than the fronts. So I got on the highway and I drove home. I'm coming down the off ramp and I hear metallic rubbing. I'm like, what is that? Is that me? And I hear it slowing down as I come to a stop at the red light, and I realize, yeah, that's me when I'm hit with this, you know, this stench of brake dust. I limp it another 5 minutes home, and I pull it apart, and I realize that the inside pad on the passenger side is completely gone, and the sound that I was hearing was the metal of the pad rubbing away at the rotor. So the rotor completely ate the pad away, and then the pad began to rub it away. I mean, this side was so hot, the tire was hot. The driver's side was hot too, but nowhere near as bad as the passenger side over here. The outer pad has, I don't know, a little over 1 mil of material left. I checked the driver's side, and there's probably double or triple this amount of material. I was under the assumption that if it were the soft line from the chassis to the T on the axle that was swelling and not letting fluid back, you know, come out of the calipers, that the symptoms would be the same, you know, equal intensity on both sides. But it's just this side that is that's really eating through the pads and the rotors now. I had the rotor turned down. That's the one from the passenger side, and I'm a little bit concerned at the difference in the slots. See, these slots are almost non-existent now because the pad cut the rotor so deep. But on this side, these other 4 slots, there's more to them than those. So I'm thinking either this rotor is warped or there's something wrong with the machine they used. I don't know. They just did sort of a skim on the outside. But based on that, I don't want any more guessing games. I just ordered a new set of rotors. The one on the driver's side is actually fine. I didn't send that to them. There's the difference in the pads. This is the passenger side. So this is the one that did the damage here. This side was more or less okay, I guess. Slide pins on both calipers are nice and smooth. I tried compressing, this is the bad one, at least I think. I tried compressing this one, I had a hard time. And this one, I gave it a little squeeze, and with my hand, I gave it a squeeze, and some brake fluid came out. So this one, not so much. One thing that I missed when I put these in initially, I didn't flush the system, and I should have done that. Not having flushed the system is probably what clogged this up. So as with the rotors, I just decided to order a new set of calipers. I ordered the T-hose. I got some line here to redo the extension, get rid of this crusty old thing.